Alright, so I am recording, trying to see if I can get the audio with this microphone, remote microphone. I don't think I'm going to keep it. I don't really see it. I don't think it benefits for what I'm trying to do much. It's easier just running the mic through the helmet. Having the GoPro hooked to the front of either the front of my bike or the front of my face mask. It seems easier. I don't know. Give this a try. I got cords all over the freaking place. I don't feel like it's any better than what I was doing before. Kind of wants to be summer, but not quite there yet. So basically just a little test ride, see how this thing does. I really could do a lot better equipment knowledge, etc. if I could read the small print on these the instructions that come with electronic devices nowadays are absolutely terrible. I mean it's like I use 8-point font occasionally at work, 7 points even. It's like 2-point font. I don't know what font that they're using on these instruction packets, but it's beyond reasonable. When you have to sit there and take a picture of your phone and then increase the picture to be able to see what something says, you need to up it a little bit. You know, what are we talking? One extra piece of paper? You know, if you took one side of the box and removed the advertising graphic off of it for the sake of having a larger font on the instructions, I'd go that route. And maybe some people it's just like natural how to set it up. I mean, I will figure it out. I just don't want to. I don't have the energy or desire to invest into it. I just want it to work, basically. I can get more detailed ideas, creative ability by watching other people, what they do. But just for the basic, to get started, I just want something I can just plug in, basically, and go. This remote microphone wasn't bad. LAV mic, I suppose. The only issue with it is I don't really know that it's any bit more beneficial for what I'm doing than just run a cord from the mic to the GoPro. It's about the same, as far as use. So it seemed to work fine. I mean, from the test I was doing in the house. But I'll probably take it back. It just it's not what I was there to get. But nice, friendly salesperson. Hate it. It's one of the situations like, I hate to not buy anything, and then he gives me this box. And as I'm talking to him, I'm like, oh hell, I know more about it than you do. And hey, I think this will work. He gives you this box. It's like, well, can I read it? And then as I'm trying to read it, he starts asking me about my bike, starts asking me about my car. Cool conversation. Anywhere else, if I was having a beer or we were hanging out, great. But dude, I'm trying to buy something. And I need to get my old eyes trained on something so I can see it. You get a lot of people through this neighborhood that are, I don't even know if they're house shopping. It's a quiet, peaceful little neighborhood, and people drive through it sometimes going pretty slow, which is fine. We don't always have to be maximum speed at all times. I mean, nothing wrong with riding around looking at stuff. It's basically what I'm doing now. It's what I used to do when we were kids. My parents would take us, we would just ride around, ride in the country. Oh man, that was a treat. What a treat. Now we're so over, oh, for God's sakes, I can't speak today. Saturated, that's not the right word, but saturated with entertainments. So we everything, you can't taste fruit anymore because you're so used to eating these high sugared, high salted, extreme flavor things. You go to eat just you know, God's fruit, and your taste buds can't taste it anymore. And that's kind of where a lot of people are, and it's just I don't know, seems sad to me. Maybe it's not, but to me it's like you're missing out on simple pleasures in life. Just take a minute, you know. You're always rushing from one place to another. Oh, hey, we're going to Fiji or the Bahamas or some trip, and it like half the people would tell me that, like right off the bat, I'm like, yeah, well, it doesn't matter where you go. I know it's going to be sitting in one restaurant to the next, have some drinks, maybe you take a couple sites, but for the most part it's one restaurant after the next, because you're not the kind of person that's going to get out and actually swim in the ocean, actually do some rock climbing or, you know, something adventurous. You're just maybe it's just getting older too. Hell, I'll be there too, I guess, but I don't get all upside down about it. I mean, in my opinion, where I live, I guess I see the beauty in normal stuff. I like the old South. Beach isn't far from here. I mean, it's a half a day trip, but it's not far, not like Iowa or something. The mountains, I'm in the tail end of the mountains here, so that's a quick trip to get up and do that. The mountains are pretty, but I don't know. I can't help, anytime I get up there, I can't help but wonder, what do people do up here for a living? Where do they go to the store? So I just get caught up in stuff like that. But it is beautiful. I also think about living up there, how tough it would be walking. Like, oh my God, everything's crazy hills. Just seems a little rough. But good for bike riding. The only problem is I'm maybe an hour from the real mountains. So by the time I get up there, I'm tired and I'm kind of ready to head home. And then you get in these small towns, you're afraid of getting a speeding ticket. You know, down here you can go 10, 15 over and nobody's pulling you over. Everybody speeds. Up there it's a little different, which I get. But you get these little, you know, little surprise curvy roads around here. It's not bad. I like it. It's pretty. So, you know, you learn a good route that's not far from your house, and you can go out and have a good time without having to do some big all-day thing. And for God's sakes, don't get a trailer. You get a trailer for your bike, maybe if you're going to some big show out in Sturgis or something, and I just feel like you need to ride there. That's part of it. For me now, anyway. I'm not too aged yet, but you know, you get up in your 60s, I realize you can't really do that anymore, but you still love that lifestyle. That makes sense. But if you're like 30 to 50, ride your bike to where you're trying to go. You know, maybe if you got a fleet, you're bringing them all to some show, or you're going to be camping there for, you know, a week or so, and you need to be able to pack all your gear, and that makes sense. I'm not trying to be a jerk, but the point of this whole diatribe is that you can find places close to you usually that aren't too bad. I mean, this is a little heavy on the stop signs around here. I don't usually go this route exactly, but still, it's nice. It's scenic. It's different. I don't know. Little houses, just basically normal life. One thing that I've always been envious of people that can keep their yards up so nicely. I just wish I had the energy. See, I never in a million years would have guessed this road came back to this big road I'm about to come up to, which I'm not going to, because I'm going to do a U-turn if this SUV will allow it. I'm going to do me a big old busty U-ey here. I like to listen to the Cycle Cruiser occasionally. And then he got this, like, what do they call them, Moto GP bike. It's okay. It does look fun. but it's like it's all he rides anymore, and kind of stopped watching. But I like his commentaries, cracks me up. And it's kind of funny, so many of the Moto vlog guys are very crisp dialects. Cycle Cruise is not from the south, but he's got a little vibe to him for sure. It's a little different than a lot of the southern guys. It's, you know, Harley, which nothing wrong with them, but I've just never leaned that way too much. When I had my first bike, I thought Harley, oh my God, what a supreme vehicle. I mean, just couldn't afford any of it. I mean, God, I couldn't afford the little accessories, much less the actual bike, which is kind of funny because it was in the late 80s when I don't think they were really on top of their game. I don't know what happened. Too much plastic trying to cater to a broader audience. I don't know. But I got older, and I mean, I really do like the setup. One detracting thing is you're joining the club. You know, it's like you're the older white guy with the leathers and the blah blah blah, and you know, you got your uniform. And part of what I like about a bike is being different. I don't really want to be part of the major group, and I don't want to seem like I just got a bike a couple of weeks ago so I can smoke a cigar and have a beer with some friends, blah blah blah. And then they get the girlfriend, she's riding on the back the whole time. That seems terrible. But anyway, the thing I don't like about, I tried to test drive a Harley maybe a month ago. I was kind of surprised how small it was. I was on the Pan American, but I kind of had, I guess I worked it up more in my brain. I thought the Pan American was going to be more, you know, a little more macho of an off-road bike. And then I remembered, oh yeah, that top heaviness when you go into a turn, it feels like the bike wants to fall over. And I've been riding this Boxer engine for a while, and it's got a real low center of gravity. I just grew to like them over time, kind of because they're easy to work on. You do a tune-up valve adjustment real fast. You don't have to take a bunch of parts off. Very simple. I'm just riding to the dirt there. Okay. Not really feeling it right now. I'm kind of vegging on the couch, and I made myself get up and ride. So legs are a little wonky, not 100%. I don't like riding like that, but I'd also hate to waste a day and not do anything. I don't know what people's opinions are on these roundabouts, but I say turn your blinker on when you go into them. If you see approaching traffic, it's not for the people behind you, it's to let the people know you're going to make this turn. Anyway, so I take the Harley, go around the block. It was very similar to my son's BMW G310. Same kind of power profile, torque curve. Very strong at the start, and then it kind of just wanes, and the engine's like screaming. And that you're making the engine scream just to get a little power out of it. Definitely was double the power of the G310, which is a thumper, single cylinder, and with the Pan American's a V twin. But you could just tell it's got a top end issue. It's all torque. Nothing wrong with it. It's just that's the style, and I like stuff that's a little more open ended on the top. Even this R18, great torque. A little disappointed it kind of tops out like 112, 115, and you can get there fast, but it just doesn't compare to the S1000 I had before. That hell, I don't even know what the specs on that were as far as time, but it's fast as shit. I know that. You can breathe on the throttle, and you're going 80 miles an hour. I mean, it's just like nothing. You had to really be careful with it, speed-wise. And then I'd get into like a cruise situation like here, and I had a Corbin seat. I even took memory foam, put on top of the Corbin, and then stapled some nice suede leather that I bought from Alaska Leathers, I think it was. They just sent me a big swath of black suede leather. I stapled it around the Corbin, and it was okay. I could definitely get 3 or 4 hours on it, but it just wasn't the bike for this. You know, riding on a 2-lane road with traffic in front of you, that's, you know, cap out on your speed. The engine would get hot as hell. It's like right under your groin, right next to your legs. You couldn't ride it with shorts on because you burn your legs. And yeah, I know shorts are dangerous, but I accept the risk. So this is more for me. This R18 just kind of fits my profile more. I like the Harley, was it Breakout? It's a pretty cool bike, but the wheelbase is a little too short on it. I wish it was a little bit longer. And anyway, that's it. That's the only downside with that bike. The other ones, you know, your standard big ass Harleys are really nice. I like them a lot, but I hate the fucking windshield. It just looks like a big ass piece of plastic stuck on top of the front wheel. I hate them. I hate the look of them. I don't like the way they ride. I don't like them in the rain. You feel like you're kind of cheaping out from being in the elements. I mean, that's just part of it. But I had a K1600 BMW, had a windshield. She could move up and down. I think they did a pretty good job of integrating it. It was more, the front area was more a part of the overall frame, and then the wheel went through it. Where the other ones I see, where like they've got the whole head mount, the speakers and all this other stuff, it's like mounted to the front handlebar. It just looks weird to me. I don't like it. So if they could come up with an option where that's not there, I'm all over it. I guess I just like more of the chopper, more out in the open. And then the if it rains, God almighty, you get rain on the front of the windshield, the back of the windshield, the front of your visor, and inevitably the back of your visor. So you got 4 layers of water you're looking through. It's just not good. Maybe if you're shorter and your head's under the windshield a little bit, or even with it, great. But I mean, I'm not crazy tall at modern heights, but you know, 6'2", 6'3", you typically are sitting over the windshield. So if you're over the windshield, it's just another layer of wind blasting you in the face. Now it's just concentrated, where if you were to just be in the open, the wind is a little more natural. I don't think you ever stopped, did you, dude? The baby boomers don't like to stop at stop signs. No, that's just my personal opinion. But anyway, yeah, they're cool bikes. I'm sure I'll get one day. That was the Pan American was the first one I rode, and this probably wasn't a good test for them. One of these days I'll go check out a different one of their full-size models. I also like with BMWs tend to sit up a little higher, and when I stop, I like to be able to have my legs out straight. When I'm sitting with bent knees, it's a little hard to hold up, or can be. You know, you come at typically you stop at a dead straight line, no big deal, but you got any kind of little angle as you're stopping, and it can catch you off guard. Starting to have a little bit of an ailment in my right knee. Not terrible, but it's one of those, doesn't hurt all the time, but like out of the blue I get these like tearing pains. It's like, holy shit. And if you're not expecting it, it's not good. So I just open my visor, see if it makes any difference on the mic. I don't know, hopefully not. I'm hoping it's all fairly smooth without all the buffet sounds and weird static and all this other garbage I've gotten in my last attempts. I noticed right off the bat that the neck piece is chewing my neck up really good. What do you call that? I can't think straight today. So this video is probably going to be for my personal viewing only. Get my crap together. It wants to be nice today, but man, the wind is just blowing. Winter and summer are having a battle. Summer is slowly winning, but winter has still got a few things to say. She's going out with a bang. She's not going out slow. So this is one of these little kind of surprise roads over here. Used to haul ass on it pretty good when I had the S1000. That was a fun as shit bike. 420 pounds, I think it was. I mean, just paperweight. To me, unfortunately, the bike I learned on weighed nearly 1,000 pounds. 900 and something. Honda CB750F. That was the 4-into-1 exhaust. Dad gave it to me. Damn thing was huge. Just heavy. You know, the technology wasn't there yet. The alternator was the size of a football. It would go, but it was a dangerous bike. Leaked oil, brakes sucked. I was learning. I wrecked it so many times I couldn't count. Lost track. Just, you know, stupid laying it down type situations. But I loved it. It was my first little taste of freedom where I could get out and go somewhere. Got a car later, you know. First car is kind of the same thing. That little bit of freedom. But it was not the right bike for me by any means. Skinny toothpick legs trying to hold that thing up, and I come up to a light in some kind of weird angle, and shit, next thing you know, it'd want to fall over on you at the red light. It's not fun. Another thing I like about BMW, they've got the integrated brakes. You hit the front lever, it does both. I mean, it's not perfect, but you know, in an oh shit moment and you got to crank down on the brake, it's like, it's nice. You just hit that one and you can lay on it, and with ABS you're going to get the maximum stopping potential. Now I'll still hit the rear brake and I can dial it in, but it's just nice. I guess a mental security to know that that one does both, and it's also good in traffic. So I'm gonna have to constantly have your right foot on there so you get a nice balanced stop. It was shocking to me. I had one in 04 Rockster that had the integrated brakes, and yeah, it had ABS too. And I remember one time, car in front of me about the same distance, but we were going about 65, and he just stopped. Car in front of him went to make a left, and I couldn't see the car in front of him at all. It was some little car, and it just stopped, and I guess I looked away for a second, and bam, and I jammed on the brakes. I mean, not stupid, it wasn't like a panic brake, but it was, you know, pretty serious, and I ended up stopping like 10 feet before the car. I was like, oh shit, better than I expected. The downside with it, I don't know, with ABS and integrated brakes, if it's how hard it is to lay the bike down. Like, can you even lay it down? Or do you just, now you've got to hit the object? You know, when you lay a bike down and you slide, chances are you're going to slide before you ever hit the object. But when you're not able to lay it down, then you just, you know, you've got one option, and that's either hit that vehicle or steer and avoid it. And my mindset a lot of times, like, shit, you're better off just hitting the back of the damn vehicle than it is to go around it, and then you end up hitting somebody head on that's also trying to avoid something. You know, every situation is different, but I don't know. I don't ride like I used to. I used to haul ass and do all the craziness, but now I'm more just enjoying the scenery. Probably do these little videos here and there, but I'm not going to do them every time I go out. I just want to enjoy riding. I get enjoyment from listening to these later. Play them in the background sometimes. Boring day, or it's raining, I can turn this on, or it's cold outside, you can put this on and kind of run it in the background while you do something else, and you almost feel like you're outside. This bike's very forgiving. I can almost be in 5th gear at 20 miles an hour, and it'll stutter a little bit, but it'll go. It's got enough torque and horsepower to just kind of powers through it, even if you're in the wrong gear. The S1000 was different. It kind of the same way, as far as I could be in the wrong gear and it would still go, but you had to have the revs up. Loud bike, loud as hell. Everywhere you went, loud as hell. You know, fine, you're on an expressway, you want to be loud, but shit, you're driving by an elementary school, somebody, a little church picnic you're driving by, do you really want to be screaming by them? I mean, I don't enjoy, you know, 15 angry faces looking at me. Yeah, you know, hell with them. Be a nuisance. That's how the young people think, but not my way. These bicyclists are the biggest nuisance on the damn road, I think. I mean, just insane. Much money that the government wastes on bullshit. Maybe they could widen the roads out a little bit and make them actually usable for these people on bicycles. Not every road, but some, you know. Not every neighborhood's really bicycle friendly, but those that are. Just rambling. So here I'll put my right blinker on, let that guy know that I'm going to go into this circle so he can go on and go about his day, and I have to wonder if he's going to kill a motorcyclist. So I got the mask up now. This is more how I ride. I can't stand that thing down on me, especially if it's hot. I feel like I'm breathing my own filthy air. But I got a feeling this audio won't come through, so I'll close it back down. Leave it a crack, I guess. I had a chin mounted thing, but it's right where my face vent is, so can't really use it. And then you have to open this helmet. It's one of those, like, it's got a button on the front and then the face pops up, but you kind of have to do that to be able to take it off. So the chin mounted camera holder was not a good option for me. Nice Harley. I also don't know why Harley went to that straight bar headlight. And I've got it on this one too. I don't like it. It's like the old round lamp. I guess you get better vision with the flattened out LED type, but I don't know. Ride at night anyway, if I can help it. I mean, you do get caught out in it, but of course now I'm wanting to cough and choke, cough and choke, cough and choke. I have a little pollen in my throat or something. It'll last for 3 hours. Never mind, it just went away. This is still a little kind of suburb of Atlanta, not too far out. Pretty nice. Wish the wind was a little calmer. It's just kind of can't really get into it when you're getting buffeted left and right and in your face. And it's just spring down here. Winds howl in spring down in Georgia. It just funnels, I guess, through the Appalachian Mountains and then blows down on the city, so you get a lot of these real strong winds. But it doesn't last too long, a couple of weeks. It's like right between summer and winter. So there I was in third gear, coming at, I guess, 15 miles an hour. Takes off fine. Now I'm going 55, 60. I could even push another, well, I did shift up, but they've got very broad ranges. You can really push these gears out pretty far, and I could take fourth gear up to hell 70, you know. That took a little getting used to on the S1000. It's got a gear change flashing light, and I was like, man, you can really get the revs on that thing. I mean, I was up to like 11,000. That's when they would tell me to switch. I'm 11,000 RPMs. I just, that's a lot. But the bike just ate it up like no problem. This bike, I mean, hell, it'd probably fall apart. I think it revs out at about 8,000 as its max. I don't know. I don't really use the RPM gauge anyway. I just go by feel, sound. You can feel it in your hands. You know when to change. But with the S1000, you could do it that way too, but it was nice having the RPM gauge. If you were going to race, you know, really get the max out of the bike, you kind of have to have it, because you have to look at the visual. I don't think a lot of people like the R18. I think they're, oh, you know, you're going to bottom out. I don't have any problems with it at all. The roundabouts took a little getting used to, because the S1000, I could get it down to a very low angle and it would never scratch a foot peg, at least the way I rode it. This one will, you know, it'll hit the foot peg, but once you're used to it, and you kind of, it doesn't, you know, doesn't really surprise you too much. But the first time it's like, okay. I'm in this roll mode too, which is very soft. Rock is a lot more responsive. Sometimes I'm in the roll and then I just forget. So you can see you get a lot more takeoff in rock. It's just not as fun in a traffic situation, but you lose your in roll, you lose your engine braking, so I can't downshift into a turn and offset it with extra throttle, and then, you know, then come off the throttle and really dial it into the perfect speed. Roll, if you forget and you go into a turn and you let off the throttle, it's like nothing happens. And so you know, you end up having to hit the brake or straighten up the bike and wait for the lower throttle to, you know, have an effect. And not the end of the world, but it's not ideal either. The rock is definitely, you get a situation like this, that's what you need to be in. The other mode is rain, which is extremely neutered and supposed to, the rear tire will not slip in rain mode. Well, that's not true, because I've had it slip pretty much anytime I've been in the rain. When I go from a dead stop, I can feel the back tire go a little bit. So that might be something that the dealer just says to sell the thing when the wife is standing there and doesn't want her husband getting killed. So, oh, hey, traction control. So here's my downshift and up, down throttle to dial it in. I'll hit a little brake and then power through this one. Still got the revs. I can lean or I can clean. Yeah, she eats them up, man. Eats them up. No problem with this bike. I wouldn't buy it as a first bike, probably. But if you got your, you know, if you've had one for a while, or even maybe used to have one, it's not a big deal. I have no clue where I am. Just randomly stop and then turn your blinker on as you start to turn. Well, I kind of get it now. Construction up here. They're like building like crazy. Maybe not exactly here, but just all around the north side of Atlanta. They're just building like crazy. It's a lot of immigrants coming here from other parts of the country. Nice, but then kind of sad too. You see the country slowly eroding away, and these, you know, big mansions or whatever you want to call them getting put up all over the place. No, you know, like the houses just look like they were all purchased out of a catalog. Oh, I'll have mansion number 7, the offset garage, the barn door entry doors, the garage. 15 freaking rooms. They don't have any kids. I mean, what are you doing with all that? Just, yeah, come on in. Yeah. You got a little anxious for that turn, didn't you? I don't know. I like little houses like that. Just standard little houses. They got a garage in the back, plenty of room. Yeah, maybe an upstairs, downstairs, but you know, it just feels like a home. These big mansions, they just don't feel like, look like homes to me. They're houses. Look how wealthy I am. Okay. I guess I've never really cared about money all that much. My big thing is I just want to be able to eat. As long as I've got food, money, I'm okay for the most part. I don't want to live in a loud neighborhood where everybody's angry and pissed off, road rage shit. I don't want to live in that, but you know, outside of that, my needs are not huge. I do like having a bike. I kind of have always had one and always want to have one. I think I'm going to roll on back towards the house if I can figure out where the hell I am. Here's what gets a lot of people when they go into one of these turnabouts and then they go all the way around to go the opposite direction. Nobody's expecting it. My son, it's interesting, teaching him how to drive. We had that happen to us a couple times. I'm like, son, they sure enough, people want to pull out on you. I'm like, yeah, because they assume you're going to turn to one of those, not go all the way around. It's kind of funny. One of those things you wouldn't think about. I did put the GoPro mount on top of the helmet. I have I have adhesive phobia. I just do not trust them. But I put that on. I was like, holy shit, this is really firm. This isn't going anywhere. 3M knows what they're doing when it comes to adhesives. As soon as I say that, it'll pop off. Knock on wood, that doesn't happen. But I'm surprised how solid it was. There's another thing you don't know till you've been riding a while. If you see a big truck or big van, if you get on the right side of the road, you don't get hit in the face with the turbulence as much. I learned that going down to Key West. Open face helmet, sunglasses. Thought that was real cool. Yeah, got my face like shotgunned with bugs. Nasty. And then you're like, every time a big truck would go the opposite direction, blast in the face with sand, grit. Yeah, and I still ride like that around here, but man, that was a 11.5-hour ride. Now, granted, I did stop, but man, I was worn out. Face was all sore, ripped. See a June bug out like 15 feet away from you, and it's coming at you like a baseball, a curveball. Next thing you know, whack right on the lip. Make a grown man cry. Alright, I'm gonna have to turn my phone on, I guess. See where the hell I'm at. Map it, baby. Map it on down. What the hell was it? SNL skit. Bring it on down the world. Bring it on down the down. Sucks. I've been trying to get the audio right so many times that I think I've had some pretty good, you know, content, just discussion points. But I've talked so much and none of the audio was any good. Now, I think I got the audio right, but what sucks is now I don't have anything to talk about. So I'm just rambling, bullshit ramble. Old bullshit ramble. I'm gonna pull over up here so I can fool with this phone.